Anytime I publish a video talking about the plan to Islamize Nigeria, I used to see so many people on my inbox sending me message on WhatsApp rejecting the fact that there is no plan to Islamize Nigeria or there is no Islamization plan by anybody. So today I published the video of this terrorist that was killed by the United States troops that Trump posted. So this guy sent me a message. In fact, he gave me up to 7 missed calls before I saw the message, and I responded to him before he called back again, and I had time with him. Now, he was saying that the Sultan of Sokoto, that was last week, said that there is nothing like Islamization of Nigeria, that they don't have the intention, that there is no intent to carry out the Islamization of Nigeria. So after he finished talking what he don't know, I told him, number one, can you tell me why the Nigeria forces are being killed by Boko Haram? That is the first question. He said because Boko Haram is a terrorist group. I said terrorists. What do they want? What do they actually want? Why is ISWAP, Boko Haram, Fundani militia, all these people, why are they killing the soldiers? Why? Okay, let me say, why is it that some good soldiers are fighting them, not people who are still collaborating with them up to today? Why is it that soldiers are fighting them? He was unable to answer all these questions because I was trying to put forth this question before I will now tell him what he don't know. So since he was unable to answer the question, I went straight to the point to tell him that Boko Haram have a mission statement. It's the same thing with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, ISWAP, Wundu, Fundani militia, Nakurawa group. I mentioned Nakurawa now. To mention but few, they have one agenda. But because before ISIS, Al-Qaeda, they were not operating in Nigeria from that 2012. It was just Boko Haram. Later, they had a faction, which is ISWAP. So these people, their mission is to overthrow Nigerian government, impose an Islamic state in Nigeria, which will be governed by the Sharia law. That is their mission statement. That is what they want. So how can you say there is no intention to Islamize Nigeria? No, tell me, how can you say there is no intention to Islamize Nigeria when Boko Haram said that their mission is to Islamize Nigeria? And Nigeria have not been able to defeat Boko Haram getting to 20 years. No, they have not been able to defeat Boko Haram. Boko Haram said their mission is to Islamize Nigeria. ISWAP, their mission is to Islamize West Africa, including Nigeria, Islamic State of West African Province. That is why you see them working in Mali, in Burkina Faso. They want to conquer this territory into an Islamic state governed by Sharia law. I hope you are understanding. So if anybody comes out to tell me that there is no intention to, what kind of rubbish are you talking? Like you are talking to people who live in 1950s, or you are talking to people who are living in 2026. There is a very strong agenda to Islamize Nigeria. It is not, Okocha is not saying this. It is in their mission statement. I told you people, go and download all these terrorist handbooks. They have handbooks. They have mission statement. They said it is Allah's mandate. Go and read. In fact, if you can't have it, use your AI to assess all these things I'm saying. What is the agenda? To Islamize Nigeria. So don't let anyone to come out, whether Sultan of Sokoto or Pope or anybody, even though the person is an angel, to tell you that there is no intention to Islamize Nigeria. This is what we know. They have been confessing this right from time. Now, the reason why we always say that these people are not endowed, which is the truth, that we know. They are not endowed. They are with the Nigeria system. They are with so many politicians in this movement. Is because so many politicians have always said that Boko Haram is a blessing to them. I want you to pay attention, including Sheikh Gumi. Said Boko Haram is a blessing to northern Muslim. This is a Boko Haram that want to overthrow Nigerian government, impose Islamic State, governed by Sharia law. Pay attention. The same Boko Haram commander at the time was given a commission of religious affairs for the implementation of Sharia. You know, sometimes what you don't know, you talk about it. You just believe what you don't know. They are lying to you people that there is no Islamization agenda. There is no this, there is no that. That is the only sole reason. That is just the agenda. So when you see the reintegration of Boko Haram into the society. No. When you see them, they call it rehabilitation. No. That is not rehabilitation. That is not rehabilitation at all. In fact, it is a far deeper agenda. A far deeper agenda. No. It's not just take people who want to. Okay, let me give you an example so that your eyes will open. Recently, you heard that there were some persons who wanted to overthrow Tinubu. They did not carry out, they did not shoot. Just that they said they were planning it and they were caught. They did not shoot. All of them have not seen the sun. They will kill all of them. They are court-martialing them now. They will kill all of them. They will kill all of them. Now, you see people who have been fighting to overthrow the government. Then you capture him, then you are putting him back into the society. And you can fool so many people, but you cannot fool everybody all the time. I'm not part of the people you will come and fool. There are people who want to overthrow the Nigerian government to impose Islamic State and Sharia. You capture them, or when you capture them, you now give them Quran to read for 6 months. After reading Quran for 6 months, you put them into the society. You said, oh, now they are repented. Repented from where? What exactly? What exactly are they repenting from? I want to know. This is a serious issue. This is a serious issue. There is a very high ranking Nigerian politicians who are still in this things. There is a plan to Islamize Nigeria. And don't let anyone to tell you otherwise. We know this.
I've served the military intelligence for the past 35 years. It has always been the case. Our problem is religion and social-cultural. I mean, people will expect me to come here and start talking about kinetics, about operation and so on. I've been an operational commander all my life. I've commanded warships, I've commanded troops, I've commanded men outside Nigeria and so on. But I'm not going to come to your station to discuss kinetics. The problem is not kinetics. In 2017, 2016, I'm always a member of the Security and Intelligence Brief at the Defense Headquarters. I said the center of gravity of Boko Haram and insurgency in Nigeria are the sponsors of that program. It was beyond us. Because the job we need to do is kinetics. Fight, destroy places, resolve issues. Yep. But we cannot resolve issue of sponsors of Boko Haram that were in Buhari's government, that we know them.
When you say we, who
I was in the military intelligence. Okay. And the defense headquarters staff that I work with, they know. And that was why we couldn't pursue that aspect that could have resolved that problem. Because you need to arrest people. And recently, 400 people were gathered as sponsors of Boko Haram. Why is it that the government has refused to try them? You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. Yeah. And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Aso Rock. Why should a government try to cause this kind of embarrassment and insecurity to the sense of what happened yesterday? And the solution I gave them in 2017, because when I identified the center of gravity for General Lonshokin, and they couldn't pursue it, because some of them were ministers. And what I'm saying now, the Department of State Services are listening to me. They know them.
Yeah, Commodore.
So the solution I gave them was that if we can't pursue the policy strategic level, because the people that we need to talk to are also, going to be difficult to deal with. I said what they should do now is to conduct two things. We should buy blimps. The blimps are not UAVs. They are not drones. Blimps are equipment that can fly up to 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet, static if you want, mobile if you want, and they carry a lot of payload. We saw them in Afghanistan. We saw them in Kenya. This will be something that can give us real-time intelligence, and we can know where these bandits or terrorists, where they emanate from, when they finish operations as they've done, where they go back to.
Okay. Well, let's
They
pick
did
up on...
not buy this equipment up to. This government does not want to resolve this problem. They are escalating it because of tribal and religious sentiments.
So when you say this government does not want to resolve it, don't forget the same government has purchased. In fact, they're going to induct the Super Tucano jet because of, the insecurity situation. They have, the president has had to change guards, as it were, as a result of people's clamor. I imagine if that was not in the thinking, why would you go that length to make some of the, some of the pronouncements, the meetings that have happened, the purchase, the change of guard and the rest? Why would they do all that if they don't want to sort this?
Because that is not the solution. What you just mentioned is not the solution. When you have a problem at policy level, strategic level, operational level, when you have a problem, what you need to do is to identify the center of gravity of that problem and attack it. That's what you do. What they are doing is not attacking the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram and insurgency. So if the president is buying Super Tucano, is changing service chiefs, that is not the solution. We are looking at the wrong side. It's not kinetic. It's politics.
Are you ruling out kinetic altogether?
I can't rule out kinetic because
so it's
a spectrum. It's a spectrum, so you can't rule out something. But the center of gravity is what they should look at. And what is it? I'm saying it on this channel. It is the sponsor of Boko Haram and bandits.
And speaking about the sponsors, when you say the DSS, and they could be listening to you, but so they profile, part of their responsibility is to profile all of these persons before they either vie for elections or before, they are nominated for any of these positions. Doesn't that happen? Don't they get intel and say, look, this and this is what we found, and then we don't think that this should proceed further? Doesn't that happen?
It does. When I worked with the DSS in 2007, because when Yaradua approved the operational order that we did, we now have to work together as a team. He actually forced all of us to sit down together and work together. I was surprised at the tremendous amount of information had by DSS. I was shocked. We in DI, I was in Defense Intelligence Agency, and when they were forced to bring out the files, I was shocked. They have so much information at DSS presently, as I'm talking about what I'm talking about. They have. But you see, if a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them and they're still there. The Chief of Naval Staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics, the sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized.
Assuming but not conceding that, that all of this is the case. So what is the end game? Because I imagine as a strategist, that's what you think about too. So these things are happening. what is the end game? So why will this be allowed to fester? For what purpose?
The end game for them, because we did, normally when you want to look at this type of challenges, what you do is that you go through what we call the intelligence circle, okay? When you do the processing and you do the analysis before dissemination point, you discover that the end game for them is to just turn this country into like a Taliban type of country. And it's a mindset. And anything goes. In other words, 10% casualties, 20% casualties is allowed in trying to achieve the end game of Islamizing this country.
That's for the terrorists, the bandits.
It's not for the terrorists and the bandits, for the sponsors. Because I told you, and I will repeat on this channel, the sponsors of Boko Haram and the bandits are the problems. And defense headquarters, the army headquarters, the naval headquarters, the air force cannot do anything about that. Buhari has to do something about that. The Interpol has the list of those people that are sponsoring Boko Haram. I work with Interpol. They should ask. If they don't know, they should ask. The government of Dubai, they have the list of those people. During the trial of those people that were caught, names were mentioned. They have the list. The government also told us that they've arrested 400 sponsors of Boko Haram. Why should a government not try those people and bring peace and harmony and safety to this nation? Why won't a government do that? Those people that are going to harass cadets and officers in NDA, they live around the place. I know NDA very well. I was in Georgia, I was in NDA as young officers, and I know the area very well. They live around the place. So why can't you put up a blimp that can see what they are doing in real time and eliminate them? Why won't you do that?
In fact, there were more details saying that some persons slept up, but we'll come to that hopefully. Mark has got some questions for you.